I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Despite any stuff going on in the world, a little COVID-19 stuff going on, hey, we're here to bring you a little entertainment for this little block of time. So we thank you for joining us. I want to introduce my co-host for the night, Miss Missy.
Hey guys, I'm Missy. I'm so excited to talk about the episode tonight. It's definitely a crazy one.
Yeah, some stuff going on. So, we got some stuff going on with David and his new girl. Simone's going through some stuff, whether it's with her and Bryson or literally her dad's house. And even Crystal. Crystal, we kind of get some feelings on Crystal. So we'll get into all of this. But first, Missy, kind of let me get your overall thoughts of the episode.
This episode was definitely like what I was looking for. Like the gang is finally back together. Crystal is finally back. She was gone a couple episodes, so I was happy to see her back together with everyone. I just felt like it was kind of like a mixing bowl of different people together. It was just very, it was like a different episode, but I wanted to see more from everyone. They kept leaving people's storylines. I was like, what is going on? So
Right.
it was interesting to say the least.
It was definitely an interesting one. And by the way, I just realized I didn't even introduce my own self. That's your boy, Tenere Williams. Got to get that out there. Coming to you from the car studio today. So as you can see, we're all coming from different, or Missy and I are coming from different areas. We're not in the studio, obviously, because of what's going on. So, but we're glad you guys can still join us. So let's get into this episode for season 2, episode 5, 7-day weekend. So this episode, we kind of see things, the gang's kind of getting back together. Simone sets up this little party for everybody to come kind of join in and have like a little kumbaya moment, because obviously things have been stressful as we've seen in the previous episodes. Kind of the friendships had been strained. People were kind of going in different directions. So she wants to bring a little order to the group. And so she arranges this little get together. And one of the things I want to start off with, Missy, is David. I feel like David kind of got David and oh man, well, I'm forgetting his girl's name already. His new girl's name.
I don't know her name. They never said her name.
All right, so that's how we do things. Start things off on the show. No, but David and his new girlfriend, they come to the party, and we already in the opening minutes, you kind of see she and Crystal kind of meet, at the dinner table when they're kind of setting out the snacks and everything. And what's your overall thoughts of the girlfriends, especially in this kind of setting where we saw her like outside of church?
I feel like she has good intent. In the beginning when they met, they had good intentions because they both go to the church together. They both have interests of being on the same path together. But just in that moment, are you talking about just in that scene, or the overall how
really the overall kind of
okay, I feel like she's kind of suspicious because when Crystal was talking about her new job and everything, being hired onto the big marketing, advertising agency, she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you." And then she was like, "Oh, we should go out and celebrate, but you should come to the women's fellowship."
Right.
And it was just really strange to me because you wouldn't say that to someone when they you're congratulating them. You wouldn't be like, "Oh, come be in my church." It kind of felt like cult vibes.
Right. Right. I agree with you. It seemed like a little over the top.
It was a little
one of the people
sure.
who's so and Crystal kind of gave that look okay, first of all, you're my ex's girlfriend and now you want me to come to the church where you guys are at and be part of the same group. Come on, man.
You just looked at her what? And then they left
right.
it alone. They just walked away from it. So we didn't really get to see what happened,
Right. Yeah, no, I was definitely as well. She seems super nice, but it almost seems just I don't know, like you said, I don't know if there's something to it, or something's kind of just a little off. Now I did see one interesting situation where I thought maybe there was going to be a situation was when they had the group meeting. They were talking about like whose sex tape did they want to see. And remember, David came in right at the end.
Yeah, with his outfit.
In the new outfit. And I
why is he all dressed up?
Because everybody was like, what, like Ari was like, okay, you like slanging the cocaine and everything.
He kind of looked like a pimp though. So
yeah, that's what he was saying. And so, everybody's kind of like making fun of him and all this stuff. And she kind of had this look because obviously she had picked out this outfit for him, and then everybody's just coming down on him. So she kind of was looking around, and I thought maybe I was like, oh, is she going to stand up and say something to the friends? Like, hey, like I got this outfit for her. Like, you guys need to settle down or whatever. But she didn't. She just, I guess she maybe internalized it a little bit.
Yeah, because remember they were on the balcony talking about it, and she was like, your friends challenge your path. Like, they don't support it. So, like, I kind of understand that, but they also just, like, when you're friends with someone, you kind of just, like to, talk you like to blaze them and,
Yeah.
Like, it's your friends. Like, they're not trying to be, like, like, harmful or just say, like, bring you down. It's just, like, they're being funny, so.
And I'm wondering, just even in that little scene, if she might be a wedge coming between David and the rest of the group, because you can already see, I mean, like you said, she's planting that seed of your friends might be, like you said, hindering you from achieving your path or like all this stuff. So I could definitely see down the road where maybe she starts either making choices for them or really suggesting things, and maybe maybe you don't need to hang out with them, like maybe you need to stay with the the church, and and then they might
be so
like,
controlling. Ew, now I don't like her.
Yeah. And like you said, it's one of those ones, like, it's on the sly. It's not like where she's like, it's like that passive aggressive type, like she's not like super like, you need to do this, it's just maybe more that like, yeah, I could see how they might, like maybe she might slip in kind of like the back doorway where he might be like, yeah, you know what, you're right, because she really builds him up. When she talks, it's like, oh, you're my king, like I don't care what you see, and you can tell David's feeling that. He likes that, because I feel like he hasn't gotten that, or maybe when he was with Crystal, maybe it wasn't quite that, but she really kind of plays up to his ego, and I could see that definitely, like you said, her kind of coming between that, like, yeah, you need to you're a king, like you don't need to be hanging out with
wild. Why should call a king? That's just weird.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that was an interesting, and they really got most of the, or not, I shouldn't say most, but they got a good chunk of time, like in the episode, David and them. So I, like you said, I kind of saw his like just his demeanor and just everything. I can see he's really falling for this girl, but I feel like she's just gonna be trouble somewhere, along the way. So
it's like probably like not as like destructive, but maybe more so just for sure controlling. But
right.
hopefully David can like see that.
Right. And as you actually, and kind of staying with the David storyline, if we just move to the ex, Crystal, like you said, we saw a very interesting I don't know, I guess side of Crystal, like, because like you said, we had seen her in some of the previous episodes, like when they did the homecoming thing, and when she was partying it up and all this stuff, but really today she kind of had the heart to heart with David's girlfriend, and you really kind of got to see Crystal's feelings in terms of how she's viewed among the group. She said she feels like the supporting actress, like she's always there for everybody else, cheering everybody else on, helping them, but they don't really see her, or almost like she feels like she's being taken for granted.
I agree, definitely, because when she was trying to tell the group about her new job, David's girlfriend stole the spotlight. He was like, oh, let's do icebreakers. And then Tia's girl was like, oh, let's do this. So like, I feel like Crystal could have, in that moment, could have just like took back her power and been like, no, we're talking about me right now.
Right.
We'll do this later. But she didn't, because she's like, you know what, whatever, they don't care. I'm just going to do me. So it's just like, she's kind of like being passive aggressive, which is okay. Right. But I feel like if she wants her voice to be heard, especially like, their friend group is just such like a powerful friend group, and everybody has like very strong personalities. So if you want to stick with the group, you're gonna have to just be like a stronger person, or speak up, or like talk over people. That's what
no, I totally agree with you. I feel like she's been the one that she's always like, oh, I'll just kind of coalesce to whatever else is going on, what everybody else is doing. Like, I'm going to support, or I'm never going to take the lead or speak out of turn. I mean, she's had times when she's spoken up on stuff, but that's not really, she's not the one that's going to come at it. And like you said, try to like take over like a conversation or something like that. So, but I kind of feel like because of that, maybe something's brewing down the way where she might have a moment where she's like, look, I'm tired of like dealing with I'm always there for you guys, and you guys never there for me. And people might be like, whoa, Crystal, like what happened? You know, and it's just
that's a good
building up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll definitely be an interesting kind of just her storyline, kind of seeing where they go with that. And I think maybe they were setting it up in this episode, you know, just kind of by letting her tell her story and how she's viewed, you know, because she's, like I said, she's always there for everybody else, and maybe not everybody's always, you know, there for her. So
yeah, I can see that.
So it's right. So continuing on, you know, as we just kind of move around the group, so we go to obviously they're meeting at Marcus Graham's house, her father's house. And it was just funny when they were kind of looking at the pictures on the table, kind of bringing back all the memories, and you just start hearing them say, well, like, yeah, that's I think the friend, what's that? Who was the one who brought it up? Who said like, "Whoa, that's a lot of naked William"? I think it was Ari.
I think Ari did. Of course, he would bring that up.
He was like, "That's a lot of naked women in one pool," you know. And then it just kind of hit like again, kind of brought
Simone
everybody.
was already like in her feelings because Bryson. They had that whole situation in like someone's bedroom, and they like kissed, and she tried to make him feel better, and he was like, "I can't do this." So she was in her feelings from like that, you know, interaction they had together.
Now here's an interesting part, and maybe you can, I don't know, like where we'll go. Maybe you guys, you know, by internet or podcast can chime in. They've been dealing with this. Well, it really started last episode when Bryson started dealing with his manhood problems and couldn't perform like how he wanted to. And so it kind of carried over and even brought in, you know, I guess kind of Ari into the situation. This one, they were just both kind of having this you know, situation where they couldn't perform, you know? Right.
But I felt like that was the perfect time for Bryson to be like, oh my God, that happened. But then that's not Bryson, because Bryson's I've noticed he's very narcissistic. Like he kind of doesn't like share about himself. He just wants everyone to be obsessed with his problems and not help anyone else. Like I've noticed that about him.
And really and at one point when he was talking with Ari, when they were out on that deck, he was like, actually, it wasn't really even about that, man. It was about like some stuff other stuff that, you know, I guess he was, you know, dealing with, or, you know, cause I was like, that was weird. I was looking, I was kind of feeling Simone. I mean, like her face, like she was like, oh, it's about to go down. And she was making the move, you know, and I mean, she was like right up in there, and he was like, you know, and she was like, wait, what? Like, first of all, probably like what guy like wants someone to stop when they're like right at that situation? He's just like, I can't, you know. And I was like, whoa, like.
But that's good. He's putting boundaries. But the way he did it, he could have been more as like, hey, like I know you want to like go there, but like let's create some boundaries here. Like we can't keep doing this. But he didn't do it like that. He did it really like it was very.
I could have seen like Missy would have been like, what? Like, no.
Don't put me into this.
No. Terrible.
No.
Yeah, I know. People probably be writing in the YouTube comments, let me tell you something about my, you know, like, okay.
No.
So, but no, it's, you know, you kind of thought like when you saw that, like, oh, are they about to get back on track again? You know, because they had just had a talk about, I want things to get back to the way they were before and all this stuff. And, you know, and the fact that even it was funny because, you know, her whole thing, or Bryson kept saying like, oh, you always want to be in control and all this stuff. And she said, you know, like, I'm not really feeling like I am right now. And the funny thing was she actually made the move on him, like in that situation. You know, it's not like he was moving. He was just sitting there, and she was like, I'm coming in full force. Let's do this.
He had a chance to be like, let's set some boundaries here. He allowed it to happen. Then he felt some type of way. And then she felt some type of way later on when she like, when the group was looking at the scrapbook, she was like, oh my God. She just kind of, I don't even know what she was like crying about, honestly. I think she was more upset with Bryson, but then she like, kind of blamed it on everyone else.
Yeah, well, and it was interesting because, like you said, the fact that she was like, "You guys aren't being real with me. I need you to." Ever since everything that had happened with Bryson, and she's like, like, yeah, like you guys aren't being real. I need you to be real with me. And
That was directed
kind
toward
of like,
Bryson.
what'd you say?
That was directed towards Bryson. That wasn't a group.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. And especially when she said like, yeah, like things in the past have been or things need to be forgotten, like even in the past or something like that, and I was just like, oh, um but at that point when they were like, kind of like you said, going through those pictures and she's kind of having her moments, I kind of feel like you said, as a group, I don't know, I kind of feel like I was feeling like if I was like in the friend group, I would have been like, you know she was mad about like people tiptoeing around stuff. I would have been like, this is on you though. You're the one who did like, don't put this on, trying to be on me, the friend. Like I mean, I don't know. Like maybe some people will be like, no, like, how Simone felt, they would have felt, the same way. But I was kind of looking like if I was one of the friends, I would have been like, no, don't try to project yourself on me. Like,
Right. Someone could have
like it's my fault.
yeah, someone could have definitely like spoke up about it, but I think they're just and I think they're already sensitive to Simone because they are in her dad's house. She doesn't have a relationship with him. Looking at these pictures kind of triggered her, and then it triggered like the whole Bryson situation. But I think in that moment when she went back to her room and started crying, I was like, what are we crying about? Like it was just very like there's so many people in your house right now. You upstairs crying, like be a host.
Right.
Go downstairs. So like why? Like I just
Throw
didn't
it,
understand it.
not only crying, throwing books in fires and then just leaving them. Like, what's
Man,
going
it was probably like a
that
gas,
was
like a gas, not stove, but like chimney. Like it probably
oh
didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how I got like how the fire started. Because when you have like a gas fire in a fireplace, like it's a contained fire. So like if you throw stuff in it, it can kind of go out of control. It doesn't. So that's what I think what happened.
And also, did you notice when she came in with the fire extinguisher, it looked like it got
Yeah,
worse.
she tried to be Superman, trying to save the day. Like, come on, what's
I
going
was like,
on here?
oh
I
yeah,
love
that's
how Crystal grabbed the champagne bottle. Was like, I'm nope, not today. I was like, same sis.
right, right. And it was real. It was interesting because, well, like you said, yeah, that whole, they kind of did the flashback to the very first scene of the show. When you're kind of thinking like, wait, what? Like when the show first comes on, she's jumping off the roof, and you're like, what's going on? You don't really know the context or
Yeah.
what's going on. And I was thinking actually when that was happening, I was like, ooh. I was like, only because probably her life was in danger with the fire. Because I was looking like, how many black women were out there like, ooh, girl, you jumping in the water like that, from like the,
I
you
would
gonna
have
get your
never done
hair wet,
that. Thought it was so dramatic how they like had her jump in the water. I was like, couldn't she just like took a ladder down? Like I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
was,
I
yeah,
thought
that like
Bryson
you
was gonna go save her, and he really didn't. He stayed outside. That's not
right.
true love. If he
Well, I
loved
thought
her, he would have ran inside.
right. Well, yeah, like that was the interesting part because like you said, it seemed like he had called like Ari and who
David,
was it? Was
like
it David? And he was just
get
like
her
he was
out
about
of
to be like,
school.
let's go, guys, let's go get her. And then I don't know if that's when she came out and she was just on the roof and they were just like, okay, we'll just let her jump then,
No, she jumped, and then they like all like
Oh, then they
beat
all
her.
went in. Yeah,
Yeah.
went in and
And I was like, why didn't he try to like go by like the wherever they ran out of? Like, why didn't he try to go call her name? He just stayed there with everyone. That's why I was like,
dang,
oh.
Missy would have been like, I would have needed you to come call for me or
First of
something.
all, I would have ran upstairs. I
First
run.
of all,
When you see fire, I run. I don't try to stick behind. No.
right, right. No, that was interesting because, like you said, most of the time you would figure like black folks be running away from stuff, but someone went to the danger. Like let's go. I'm gonna go save. Like what? Like what
I
you
think
doing,
she
girl?
felt bad. And then when like what's her name? Crystal was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about your dad's house. She was like, I'm not.
Right.
Were you just trying to save the house? I'm so confused. Make up
Yeah.
your mind, girl.
Dang. I'm trying to picture Missy's face at this one. Like really, really, like
She's like,
girl, get
I'm
it
not. And then
together.
she sipped the champagne or whatever it was. And I was like, I thought you were in there trying to extinguish the fire. That means you care if you're trying to
Right.
extinguish something. So I don't know.
Now let me get your thoughts on this, because obviously one of the other couples in the house was Tia and uh
Her lady.
Dorothy.
Yeah.
I forgot her
Dream.
stripper
I think
name,
her
but
stripper name's Dream.
Dream, that's right. So that was actually kind of interesting because we hadn't really seen Dream in like a couple episodes. I mean, because last episode was kind of focused more on Bryson, and the last time I think we saw them was when Tia was in the strip club and about to start the revolution, for the strippers. And it was interesting because their relationship, it seemed like everything that Dream said, like Tia had to, even if she had like a smart comment about it, like she tended to agree with everything, or really kind of be in agreement, but in a way where it's like she didn't want to hurt her feelings or something, because like I
Yeah, no,
remember
I get
Dream
what you're
said,
saying. I feel
yeah,
like the relationship's new, so she doesn't want to she says something, she doesn't want to like knock her down. But she did, after Simone had her little tantrum in the living room, she did like put her hand up, like save it.
right. Well,
So
which was interesting because, like you said, like Tia is very much like not trying, doesn't bite her tongue type. And all of
yeah,
a sudden, this girl kind of has her in, because I remember like when Dream said something when they were sitting at the couch, and what did she say? It was something about the
like the
I don't know if it was
sex
about
tape thing.
the Ray J sex tape or something, and she said something, and like Tia was like, yeah, that wouldn't be a good
Great.
idea,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like
and
she was agreeing with everything she was saying.
right, and I just kind of felt like that's kind of
Can we talk
weird. So I
about
don't know,
Ari and his girl?
that girl. It's like
I was like, what is going on here?
he's just, yeah, he's just bringing in, like you said, from the moment when she was like, yeah, I don't watch TV, and everybody was like, what? I already knew. I was like, oh, she's on this different type stuff.
Oh yeah, she's like on a spiritual
Right. And he's
other
just like, I
journey.
mean, he's just, man, just literally all
Were
over
they
the
doing
place.
tarot cards? Is that how she figured out like his problem? Okay, I was
Yeah,
wondering that. Okay.
yeah. And he's just like you said, he kind of maybe sees well, I don't know if it's like the writing on the wall, but he's just like, girl, you crazy. Like, I'm not,
Yeah. But he
trying
started
to.
to believe it though with the tarot card situation because she was like, your manhood is getting away with, was it his
It was something
love
like
or
not liking humanity or something like something like
his
your
manhood
manhood's
is
falling down.
interfering with like other personal things.
Right,
That's what she said.
right. Which was interesting because, I mean, in the previous episode, he was dealing with a situation with his boyfriend. Well, not really his boyfriend. I guess they were just
Buddy.
kind of, yeah, his
Buddy.
bang buddy. Yeah.
That's
Which
nicer terms is buddy.
right, his, we'll
His
just leave
buddy
it at
said
that.
the same thing. He was like, you let your masculinity, you have limitations to it. So
Right.
she's not wrong. And he started to believe it too.
Which was interesting for him, because Ari always seems the one like, hey, I'm so carefree, I don't have any problems, I know who I am type stuff. And now we're kind of actually for the first time seeing him, like I said, even starting last episode, where he's kind of going through some things, or people telling him, hey, you need to figure things out, or you're dealing with some stuff. So I was kind of thinking as well, just from just all the time with him, like, hey, he's secure in who he is, he doesn't apologize for going both ways type thing. So but maybe he prefers one way or the other, because like you said, even with the guy, with his boy, the guy who was from last episode, he was like basically saying like, you always want to be the man,
Yeah.
and maybe even though he claims to be both sides, maybe he prefers one way, like, I can do both, but
Yeah,
I have to do it in a certain way.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I hope like maybe in the future episodes he can start figuring out like what he wants to do. Because I think right now he's trying to do both sides and that's what's getting in the way.
Literally
Yeah.
trying to oh yeah, that's good old Ari, and well, and really, I mean, as you just kind of, like I said, we kind of go through, I think we pretty much hit on everyone. I mean, like, again, just like we mentioned at the top of the show, the show was like, I mean, other than the fire was probably like the biggest kind of
Event.
action that
Yeah.
went down. I mean, I feel like it was almost more of like a setup episode where they're
I
kind of giving
agree.
us some, yeah, giving us some information, and it's like, okay, this is gonna play out somewhere, maybe down the line or come through, but not too much like explosiveness or like, oh no, I can't believe this happened. It was just more of like a, keep it moving type episode,
Yeah, I
for
agree
me.
with your setup. Like maybe for like the next couple episodes, it's kind of gonna get down to like the nitty gritty of like what's going on.
Right.
Because I'm trying to see what's gonna happen with Simone and Bryson because they keep tiptoeing around the situation.
I very much agree with you. Like you said, I mean, they're just on this seesaw kind of roller coaster relationship. And like you said, it seemed like they hit a rough patch and maybe things were getting back to normal. And now it's kind of like, looks like Bryson's kind of going through some things. And like Simone's ready for it to get back to normal, but he's kind of like, no, like I'm not, not ready like on that kind of level. So,
What are your predictions?
all right. Predictions. Sorry, we don't have like the flashing lights on this one.
I know I missed the flashing lights.
I could maybe turn my ring light on, on and off for a little bit. But so for predictions, I'm predicting one that the fact that one with Crystal, I think she's really going to kind of step into her own coming up. I think this job is the first step. Maybe she's going to either I think a couple things could happen with the job. One, she could step in, have this big position, and really, like I said, maybe come into more of her own, take a more like affirmative and just more like hardcore stance, like with the friends, like when things come up. I also think because she said it was a marketing agency, I wonder if it might be a way like maybe if Simone comes in and it's like, hey, can you hook me up with because really she's not working. I mean, other than working with Tia, like she doesn't really have a job, maybe
Right.
she's like, hey, can you slide me in? And maybe, they get something, maybe she helps out someone along those lines. And then also dealing with the David situation. I feel like there's going to come to a head, like with her and his new girlfriend, like something's going to come up, or I don't know, she might say something to her, or David might have to be like, hey, that's my new like there's gonna be some conflict there, I feel like. So
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
yeah, I 100% agree. I kind of want to see Ari explore his limitations within himself. They keep talking about it, so I'm like, okay, is this ever gonna happen?
I thought you were gonna say like outside. I was like, whoa, look at Missy's like, I want to see him explore like so.
No, hate you. Okay,
I mean, man, this is
no.
that's for another different after show and
That's a
channel.
whole different after show. No, that's like only fans or whatever that's called. But anyway,
she said only fans.
Okay. Anyway, so I want to see him figure out what he wants because I feel like he doesn't know what he wants. And then again with Crystal, but I want to see Crystal. Remember, like they were saying, like when we did that interview with them, like way before the season started, they said like she goes on like a special trip. So I'm like, when is this happening? I want to see it when that happens.
Okay.
And then Davey and his girl, is she gonna be controlling, or like are we gonna see like a different side of her in the next episode come out where she's like telling him what to wear to church? Like I just kind of want to see her character develop a little bit more. And it's just
And actually kind of piggybacking on that real quick before we wrap it up, I think like you said, we hadn't really seen with the pastor back. Like I want to see how he's really I feel that's gonna be a big integration.
Yeah, they kind of just like introduced him and then just like he fell off. So let's see where that goes.
Right. And like you said, I feel but through the girlfriend, like he's gonna really get wrapped up in the church because obviously she's a member there and he wants to do that. So I feel like that's gonna have a big influence over David. And is it gonna be so big where it's like, hey, you gotta cut off your friend, or like where he's feeling like I'm in this different space. Yeah, and maybe will someone call him out on it? Be like, what are you doing? Like all this stuff. And so it'll be
Maybe like the season finale would be like a cliffhanger because I feel like that's what they're gonna for sure do. Like David's gonna be like in some weird situation.
You heard her here first, people. Episode 5. Remember this episode, Missy called it. She said it's gonna go down. I bet you it will. So well, that's going to do it for us for this week. Hope you guys had a great, like I said, entertaining time. We appreciate you guys commenting on, like I said, send your comments down low. We love seeing them and seeing what your guys' thoughts are. Missy, tell them where they can find you.
You guys can follow me on all social media platforms at Missy Vernier.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TenereW. That's at TenereW. And again, hopefully you guys have a great week, and we will be back again, same bat time, same bat channel.